Yo guys, what up, what up, what up? It's the kid here, Double H, half that hope my way are streaming on both our channels, man. We're streaming right now on the Football Hut as well as Red Devil Studio, aka Red Level Ludio, as you know him very well during the hangouts and so forth. So, you know what we're here for? We're here for the big preview, which is Man United against Villarreal for the Europa League. So let me just start things up before I, bring in Red Devils as an overall thing, because we're going to get in deep. We're going to talk about players. We're going to talk about formations. We're going to talk about narratives and how much it means for both sides. So we're going to really cover all aspects of this in detail. But I think let's just start off looking at this thing on the overall. You see, I always, I talk about the hierarchy of trophies. And I always say that, at the very top, you've got the Champions. So this is for club football. For club football, it's the Champions League, then it's the league title, then it's this trophy, and then I'll say it's your domestic cup. So don't let anyone make you believe that. Oh no, the FA Cup is bigger than the Euro. No, it's not. Like, the thing about this competition is that it tests you against other quality teams beyond your league. So this, because really you could argue that this is just one step below the Champions League, but I think the league, based on just what it is as a war of attrition, is important. But let's keep it real. You are more likely facing quality teams throughout this competition than you are in a league, specifically if you're a top team. So, and for me, I think my thing is this, and I'll bring in Red Devils to this, that I think they should just kept it as the UEFA Cup. Once they just changed it to the Europa League, it just lost some of its magic that they had as a UEFA Cup. And then since I was like, but really, like, when it was the UEFA Cup, it was like, oh, yes, we know there was a Champions League is, but if you see, like, one of the most iconic moments of the UEFA Cup is Ronaldo doing his 300 billion step overs against Lazio for one of the more iconic goals, which is in the UEFA Cup. So the UEFA Cup has always had very key moments. And I even remember, I think Chelsea beat Stuttgart, I think, in the final, where Zola scored like the winning goal or something when Mark Hughes used to play for Chelsea. So I'm showing my age, man. This was way back deep in the 90s, man. So Red Devil Studio. So let's talk about the competition as a whole, this trophy. How do you view this competition and how seriously do you take it? How big of a trophy is it, Europa League?
I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's not the Champions League final, which obviously your team is in, and obviously are favourites to win.
Red Devil Studio, can you focus on the?
You just state facts. That's
always trying to sneak one in.
So it's not as big. It's clearly not as big. But it's still a major European trophy. And as you said, it's still difficult to win. So to come across a difficult position. I do think now, obviously, recent news, I would say it's certainly a better achievement than I think a lot of that now has become because of the incentive of Champions League football. I think ever since they said the winner gets Champions League, I think a lot more teams have tried to take it more seriously, and it's been a lot more competitive. Whereas before, it was just seen as the second tier Champions League competition, and so what you'd find is that players, like I remember, even in the Premier League, like you saw teams just, because the league was more important and getting to Champions League was more important, they would just put in second string teams in Europa League, and they wouldn't really care about it because they're like, I'd rather rest the players and then get the top four than play in the Europa League on the Thursday and cause injuries. Whereas obviously now, gone.
No, because I think that's why you saw teams like Sevilla take it seriously, because they knew that there's no way we can mess without the duopoly of Barcelona and Real Madrid. So it is more likely that we can win this trophy than we win the La Liga trophy. But if you're United or you're Chelsea or so forth, based on just how the money is spread about, you know that, hey, we can win this. So we've got a good chance of winning the Premier League. So basically, there is a greater chance for a Liverpool, Chelsea, United, who may have been in the Europa League, to be able to win the Premier League than there is for like a Sevilla or even an Atletico or a Villarreal. So
I mean, Tony G was because made some good points. We have diluted the meaning of trophies. FA Cup was massive back in the 70s, etc. Fair Cities Cup was massive. Cup Winners' Cup. Even the leagues are losing euro to the biggest clubs. It's all about the UEFA Champions League, and I think that is a fair point. In that, like, you know, I mean, we clown Uber Eats, we clown all these things. So, but there would have actually been a time when those actually meant more than they do now to the Champions League. Whether that's a good thing or not depends, in my opinion, on what you think of UEFA. Because I think that well, I'm not going to go into UEFA rant anyway. But sorry,
no. But my thing is, I think what has annoyed me is how people celebrate top four than Europa League. Top four is not an achievement. It's like, okay, you're in the Champions League, now go and win it.
Yeah,
I don't get to see any of that Champions League money. I don't. Yeah. So as a fan, maybe that's for you, but I don't get to see any of that money. So as a fan, I can't celebrate that. Hey, we got Champions League money. No, I'm here to celebrate my team winning games or winning trophies. So my thing is, if you come,
so go. I was just going to say, like, well, pre-Premier League and obviously early Premier League, that was the case. Like, it was literally a case of no one was celebrating third place or fourth place. It was literally, if you won the league, great, you're the league division champions. And then maybe you won the FA Cup, okay, fair enough, because like it represents being the best in the country. And then obviously go on and you play in Europe. But there was no that's the irony, is like, even though it was still the top 3 or 4 qualifying in the early 90s and the 80s, etc., going to play in the European Cup at the time, and then UEFA, you didn't see people being like, yeah, we got second or third place. Yeah, we sort of, they wouldn't. No, it was like, they didn't celebrate that. And I just think that goes to show that, I think, just where the marketing, essentially the marketing for the Champions League has been so good, so immense, and it's just where the best players play, that we obviously now, for good reason, buy into that as the Champions League being the elite level competition. But that wasn't the case, 20, 30 years ago, where, like, yeah, if you were third place, that's third place would be third loser in a domestic competition. That's nothing to celebrate about.
No. And I think, because, you see, for me, my thing is, I'm old school, and I always remain old school. And my thing about it is that, which is why it goes back to the whole Leicester City example, which is that you would still say it's a successful season because you've won a trophy. There is nothing tangible coming fourth or third or second. You've not won anything. Because my thing about it is, okay, you've qualified for something that can gain you a trophy. Second, third, and fourth does not guarantee you a trophy. So now you've qualified. Now you need to go and win it. But if you don't win it, you failed. Because at the end of the day, the bottom line of this is hardware and what is tangible, which is winning trophies. That is what. So when you now go into a club's stadium and you look at the cabinets, you want to just say, oh, what have you won? So you've won this, you've won that, you've won this, you've won that. That means something, because, like, there's no medal. There's nothing to commemorate you coming second, third, or fourth. There's nothing. And also
affects the players, because I remember reading something by, I think it was Theo Wilcott, like when he moved from Arsenal to Everton, and I remember him saying that, like, he was like, he got to the point in his career and the culture, he was describing the culture of Arsenal at the time, when he said that the players were just comfortable and acceptable, just competing for top 4. So the way he was saying is, it was like, we didn't even really care. I mean, okay, they won FA Cups, but they didn't really care that much about, really, because they knew in that, they convinced them in their mind that they weren't going to win the Champions League and they weren't going to win the Premier League. So they were comfortable just essentially doing the bare minimum, as it were, to get into top 4, because that was seen as an achievement. And so a lot of people don't even look at the psychology that has on players, where if that's just the level, that's just the standard, then
it messes you up.
Players not going to sort of go above and beyond to try and, obviously it depends on perspective. If you're like a Burnley or something, you get into fourth or something with little investment, then you could, like, degree of difficulty. But for a lot of the traditional top 6 and big clubs, and I think that's where ownership, management, and stuff like that comes in, because ultimately they set what the requirement or expectation is for the manager, for the players, etc. And so Bram, the Man City owners, that's what they want to do. Does Kroenke want to do that? Do the Glazers want to do that? I'm not entirely sure.
So I mean, I want to switch things over now to to Solskjaer.
So before we interrupt, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to exclude the fact that you celebrated getting top four with Chelsea
Did I?
by losing to. There was an element. I mean, on the Twitch stream, there was an element of.
Oh no! I don't really recall.
You know,
maybe
just,
I think maybe you were mistaken.
Please,
Maybe you were seeing
Spurs,
double.
please.
You know,
Just
look, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. So look, I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I have not moved from my assessment of him, which is that decent manager. I think he's answered some of his critics well. But if Man United want to get back to where they were and win trophies, I don't think they can do it through him. Because basically, this is the analogy that I use. I said that Solskjaer has like steadied the ship, but the ship isn't going anywhere. The ship, it's stable, everything is intact and everything, but the ship isn't actually really moving forward. It's moving a little bit and so forth, it's moving forward, but everything is intact. Like when Mourinho was there, stuff is leaking, you know, you have rats saying what's up down in the dock area and so forth, you know, guys are stealing stuff, things are capsized. So it was all a mess. But no. He's closed up all the holes, papered all of the walls and everything, but the ship isn't moving forward. But I say, hey, at least everything is intact because things were a bit haywire. So for me, I think that this game is really important for Solskjaer. Because I think that this kind of help encapsulate and show that, hey, this is progress now. So there's no drama that was there under Mourinho. I have the team and the squad now moving forth in a very positive direction. You know, people are being effective, and we have now fallen into a personality. But what will cap this off is there is something tangible to go with the progress here. So, in my view, and I'll ask you before we look at Villarreal, because my view is that if he loses this final, it will be really bad. And my thing is, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it would be a failure. And the reason why I say it would be a failure is, yes, he finished second, but let's look at that second in context. Liverpool were horrible. And they lost Van Dijk, lost Gomez, Jota was injured, Mane had a horrible season. Chelsea were a flipping joke, hence why they sacked their manager, because they were a flipping joke. Leicester City are not even supposed to be in the conversation, you know. So
Spurs and Arsenal?
The less said, the better. Okay.
I mean, you have to.
Tottenham and the Europa Conference. Someone sent me a tweet of apparently one of the stadiums. I saw two tweets. I saw two tweets. Relax. I saw two tweets. One tweet I saw was there's like the stadium. Yeah. There's like barbed wire, like if it's Alcatraz. There's an airport roadway, and a plane was about to take off. The next one I saw was this has to be CGI. This has to be CGI. You have the guys in the stadium and so forth. Yeah. There's a train track, and the train is going across, and they're basically clapping as the train was. I was like, you know what? You see, if I'm Tottenham, I can't. I say no. We forfeit. So that is too embarrassing. Yeah. So let's put one. So my thing is, second is good. But as we've already established, you win nothing coming second, third, and fourth. Yeah. Yes, it's progress and everything, but Man United growing up, and the reason why I hated them so much was because they won all the time. You know, and I hated my big brother for choosing them because like, why does this team win all the freaking time? I'm annoyed. It pisses me off. They always win all the time. So I always knew of United as no, they are winning. And my brother was like, no, I support them because they represent excellence in winning and consistency in winning. So the idea of Solskjaer coming in was, I want to bring that back in because I was part of that psychology, you know, of we are experts and in the excellence of winning. It's a different world. Pep City, there's a lot more money and so forth, but still the Man United brand has built itself or not. These guys are about winning, and these guys know what it means to win. So would you agree that if he doesn't win this trophy, it would be a failure based on the fact that you're the Champions League team that has dropped down? You are by far the stronger superior team in the final. Would it be a failure if you were to lose this final and not win a trophy?
Yeah, no, it would be a failure. It would be a disappointment. I don't think that means that he's now suddenly going to. I don't think he's going to be sacked. And I think that when we talk about being in context, I think that you also have to look at the broader context of what's obviously happened with this whole Super League, the Glazers out movement, stuff like that. I think there still is quite a lot of hate towards the Glazers, and even if Solskjaer's going to lose, I don't think. I'm not saying there's not going to be a lot. There's not going to be Ollie out on Twitter or stuff like that. But I don't think people have forgotten what the Glazers have done, and so I think the Glazers will get a lot more of the backlash, as it were, from this than I think that Ollie would per se. Because irrespective of what happens in this final, every United fan unison will still say, okay, let's say we won the league, the Europa League, great, but we remember what happened with Mourinho. And he got Fred and was it James? I don't know, something like that in a summer transfer window. So they'll be thinking, irrespective of the result in this, we need the Glazers to actually make a good win and invest and spend and obviously in the right caliber player, not necessarily spend £200 million getting Harry Kane, but actually invest properly in the squad and actually back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So that for me, that's the big thing. So yes, it would be disappointing if he was to lose, but in the big picture is that ultimately, if he's not back, like Mourinho wasn't back in the second season, it's ultimately not going to matter, assuming that the other clubs get stronger. Now, I'm going to make an argument reason to say that, to be honest, as things stand, Arsenal are a joke right now. They're not going to be going anywhere. Spurs, likewise. Leicester, obviously, are sort of in and around there. So if you actually think about it, the top four next season, assuming things being equal, is probably going to be the same. It's probably going to be United, City, Liverpool, assuming they come back in, and Chelsea. I don't see Arsenal or Spurs really taking a massive corner, in which case, because we know the standard of the football of the Glazers right now is just get Champions League, I don't think he's going to be sacked even if he does lose this, because he's already made top four 2 seasons in a row, something that no United manager has done since Fergie. And next season, probably with a bit of backing, he will most likely do that again. In which case,
you know what I mean? Do you think you'll get Kane this summer?
No. I think that's all paper talk, to be honest. So
you think, is it the case of you don't think Kane is going to move, or if Kane moves, he's not going to go to United? So if Kane was to move, you still don't think United will be where he goes?
I know. I think he'd more likely, if he was to move, I think he'd more likely go to Manchester City. Unless we talks about swap deals with Martial and a few other things, maybe that might be something. So, but I just think that given what with Cavani, likes of Greenwood, etc., it just sounds like it's more paper talk more than anything. Much like the Haaland thing. I don't think we were linked with Haaland, but I don't think we're getting Haaland either. I think he's more likely to go to Manchester City than he is to go to Manchester United. Sancho, I think, is more likely to come to United, I think, to be honest.
Easy. He's coming to Chelsea. What
are you doing with Adoy? What about Adoy?
Relax. Ziyech, he's coming to Chelsea. On? Sancho he's coming home.
Ziyech and Adoy, man.
Relax. So from Rambo 339, thank you for the Rambo 339. So Rambo 3339 says the final will be the equivalent of Man City versus Watford. The Spanish teams made Dan James look like Messi. I expect United to have the game done by the 70th minute. You see, this is a perfect segue into this dude. Because I think this is this is Villarreal star player. So Rambo, on paper, United win this 3-0. On paper. Because Villarreal don't have those many star players or superstar players. United are the better team. They have the better players. They win 3-0. But this is where I say you have to understand footballing dynamics. You see, Rambo, if this game was played in the semis, quarters, United beat these guys 3-0, like simple, like different deal. A final is different because players are aware that it's a final. And most finals you see are close. Most of them are close because your mind, because it's like almost like the whole thing of taking a penalty. Bro, most professional players go to the training ground, they're scoring that penalty 5 out of 5 times. Now, take that penalty in a Champions League final or in a World Cup final or a Euro or AFCON final, it's a whole different bubble of wax. So my thing is, you can't deny the fact that this guy is very good in this competition. And he's an expert in this competition. And I think that's league and cups are two different things. Obviously, he's not very good in a league format of 38 games. That's probably not his thing. So he's obviously not good at ensuring a team is consistent all the way through, week in, week out. But what he's good at is knockout competition, cup competition, one-off games. Okay, I can, because remember, he prides himself on tactics, strategy, thinking, all that kind of stuff. So his bag is really, okay, this one-off game, what tactic do I need to win to this one-off game? In a league format, it's about what's your philosophy, and you just have to regurgitate that again and again and again and again. Like, look, they finished 7th this season, you know?
Did he not take Arsenal to the Europa League final?
Yeah, where
what
Chelsea said,
there?
"What's up?" Yeah,
yeah.
You know, well, see, Hazard happened. Well, Zad happened, not Hazard. Zad happened. That's when he was known as Zad. So, how much do you think the whole Emery thing is going to play in? Because look, you can look at it as like, look, Villarreal, like Arsenal should have beaten them. Just like Arsenal decided just to be Arsenal and just whack, but they should have beaten them. But my thing is, because we'll get to the guys like Carlos Bacca, Gerard Moreno, Chukezi, and so forth that these guys have. How much do you think this whole Emery thing is going to play into that? He's very good in this competition, and he may underdogs. He may have a plan to say, okay, this is how I nullify Cavani, Rashford, and so forth. And this is how I'm going to exploit their defense, which I know can be leaky.
Just to quick, when did Emery win these Europa Leagues for Sevilla? How long ago was that?
I think it was 15, 16. I think it was 14, 15, 16. Because 17 was when he moved to PSG. I believe it was 2014, 2015, because it was 3 in a row. I think it was 14, 15, 16. I mean, live chats, you can help me out, but I believe it was 14, 15, 16. Then the 16, 17 season, he then moved to PSG.
So, I mean, obviously, a lot has happened since then. We obviously had the miracle in the Camp Nou. Everything that happened regarding Arsenal. Oh, is it Chukwueze out? Is he?
That's what I'm hearing.
Maguire. Well, what we know is that I think Maguire didn't train again today, so I don't think Maguire's. I'd be very surprised if Maguire started. I don't think Maguire's going to play, but we'll get into team lineup in a second. But the point is that, like, essential things. A lot. I'm not saying that Emery can't do it. I'm just saying a lot has changed since, since then. If that makes any sense. Obviously, with what happened with Arsenal, what happened in the Europa League final, then he still has managed to get Villarreal to this final, and anything can happen in the final at the end of the day. I know I'm rambling here, but I don't know. I just think that the funny thing is that in this Europa League campaign, United have had. It's been easier for United to play against the Spanish teams than it has the Italian teams. We actually struggled against Milan, and even I know we peppered Roma, but they actually won the second leg. We struggled with them, but against Granada and against Real Sociedad obviously better than Villarreal in the league, and Granada aren't that far away from Villarreal either. We were pretty comfortable both legs, and these are the more technically gifted, possession-based team. Like, we didn't really have any problems for both legs.
But you know what? My answer to that is, again, it goes back to the whole thing of a final is different from a semi or a quarterfinal. Because if you played Villarreal in any game apart from the final, you beat the crap out of them. Because it's a final, unless they are stupid, they will know that, okay, we can't be as open as we normally are. We can't be as back as we normally are. We have to now be much more compact, really be more defensively solid, because this is so important. Because I think Villarreal, I think this is the first time they've ever made a major European final. So for them, this is huge for them. So because it's so big, they're like, no. We can't bring in any of that bravado and no. So even more so, I expect Villarreal to play very defensive and force United to break them down. And then see, okay, now how can we now counter with if Chukwueze is playing Moreno and Carlos Bacca and all these dudes. So
yeah, I mean that's and obviously Maguire being out, obviously from a leadership point of view back, is if he's now, even if he starts, he wouldn't have trained, so that's going to be a problem. Starting is where they can hit us, but I just think the quality in this Manchester United team, is certainly greater than it was when they won Europa League last time. And the thing,
no, Red, I told you, you have no excuse not to win this game. like unless there is some kind of crazy refereeing decision that there's like a crazy sending off or something, because United just have too many weapons. Like, I get it's a final and so forth, but like I saw Villarreal, I see Villarreal a few times in La Liga, and I saw them in both games against Arsenal. They're decent, they're cool, but what United have is game changers. Guys who, because a key thing to have is that if you're playing badly, do you have guys that could just be like, out of nowhere, just do something? And that's where we now bring in this dude. He's a game changer. Like, he may not pass the eye test, he may not be superb and amazing on the ball, but what this guy is he is very effective and hugely effective. And he's the kind of guy who, and this is very, very key, he doesn't need to play well to affect the game. The guys that they need to sort of be in rhythm, and if they're out of rhythm, they can't do anything. But it's a guy where, man, this guy's hardly done anything. Out of nowhere, a pass. Out of nowhere, a shot. Out of nowhere, just a play. So, do you believe that this is United's key to winning this final? That if he's effective and he is really involved, lights out.
I think it's him and Paul Pogba, and that's where when we go into what I think the lineup will be, it's him, because the thing like you were saying about Bruno is that like with any individual players, that it's so easy to just man mark the player out. Like when you probably do your Champions League, preview or something like that. I think we're having a conversation about this yesterday, something like that. Like if Kante plays and De Bruyne plays, for example, like Kante can just man mark De Bruyne out of the game, so he becomes irrelevant almost. And I think Pep would have an issue to do that. But anyway, let's talk about City. My point is just that, if you're just going to rely on Bruno, then it's not that difficult. And teams don't have to just man mark Bruno in the game. It becomes irrelevant basically, and it's difficult. But when you now have Pogba and Bruno playing together, then that's why when they play together, we create a lot more chance. It becomes difficult because now you're like, well, how am I going to deal with Paul Pogba now? How am I going to deal with Greenwood? How am I going to deal with Luke Shaw creating chances, etc.? You suddenly have someone. If Bruno isn't creating chances from the midfield, then obviously with Pogba coming in from the left or sometimes dropping deep to help, he can drive with the ball, hold on to the ball, shake up players, and cause problems, because you now need one or two players to try and get the ball off Paul Pogba. You know what I mean? So that's why I think that, to me, if Villarreal, if we set up with the way I think we're going to set up, it would be a bad idea for Villarreal to be compact and just allow Manchester United to come at them. I think that's because we will just keep on getting at them, and
okay. So you're confident, because again, that's what's like. What's in football right now? Guys who can do what I call the two flex, which Chelsea can't do. So Chelsea are very good against a team that gives them space, but they're horrible against a team that doesn't give them space. So if you have to have a strategy of beating teams that give you space, so can you counter, use your speed, and beating teams where, okay, the defense is in front of you, can you break them down? Do you have dribblers? Is your crossing effective? Can you thread balls through? And can you take guys out to create space? So that is, and what I'm seeing in a lot of football are many teams are finding it difficult to break the deep block because there are not that many dribblers or individuals. So teams tend to like, oh, if it's Highland cool, but if it's now a deep block, guys now sit back deep. Who can dribble this guy? Because there's only so many passes you can make. Against a good defensive team, you can't just pass all the time. You need to do something different. So if, let's say, Villarreal decides to, okay, we're going to sit back, men behind the ball, do you believe that no, United they'll break them down?
Yeah, no, they can because of obviously what I said with the Pogba, but also you even bring in Cavani to that. Cavani's movement is so even if you how many games they've seen in Premier League where when we have played against these kind of low blocky type teams, and yet he's made the right run. This is just, maybe compared to like a Werner. Well, you can't compare Cavani to Werner.
Don't mention that guy's name. Don't mention that guy's name.
Or even most number 9s in the Premier League right now. I don't know many number 9s that have the same movement that Cavani does. Pique Aguero did. So when you have that's even just as harder to defend against because you're having to anticipate the fact that Cavani is now, intelligent enough that okay, yes, he's got 2 defenders, but he knows where the ball's going to be. Right, I'm going to make that run. Oh, now he's into space. Header, boom, he's got a goal. It's fine. And Greenwood is obviously learning from that, doing that, and so on. So that's why I said I think if my advice for Villarreal to beating United it essentially would be to press the midfield, most specifically to press Fred and McTominay. That's where the weakness is going to be because Fred in particular, McTominay and Fred can't pass to save their lives. They are not press resistant.
No, that's why, because I want to definitely see what your lineup is going to be because I believe that if you're putting up your lineup, you have to put your lineup in terms of a team to break down Villarreal because I don't think that they're going to come out and give you space. So it's going to be a case of okay, you having possession, but now having individuals who can create 1v1 ISO situations and take guys out and then create space rather than guys who will look just to pass first, but they're not really passing anywhere really. So I mean, before I want to look at the lineup, man. So Gerard Moreno, I think he got 22 goals this season. So it was him and Benzema tied, and just behind Messi. Without Maguire, who I think, he became a little bit consistent in the last few weeks. Are you worried about your defense against a guy who has scored 22 goals this season? You're muted.
Sorry. I mean, this is the thing as a United team. I wouldn't be surprised if United didn't concede this. We probably will concede. We'll concede 1 goal. But it's just, but I guess the question is like, will Villarreal be able to keep out Manchester United? And I just don't. I mean, I don't know if we go back into their previous Europa League fixtures. Obviously, they conceded to Arsenal. I think when they were home, and didn't away. But I would argue that has probably more to do with Arteta's tactics, in my opinion, than necessarily that I think Villarreal defense is great. Because for some reason, for example, he subbed off Aubameyang and replaced him with Lacazette. So he didn't really actually go out to actually, in my opinion, fully. If you watch
so round of 32, 2-0 Salzburg first leg, 2-1 Salzburg second leg. Round of 16, 2-0 against Dynamo Kiev first leg, 2-0 Dynamo Kiev second leg. Quarterfinal, 1-0 against the Dynamo Zagreb first leg, 2-1 Dynamo Zagreb second leg. And then obviously in the semi-final, 2-1 against Arsenal first leg and then 0-0 second leg. So they're not conceding.
But who did they really play leading up? So this is why who they even really play up until the final. So you look at Manchester United's run up to the final, you have so aside from Arsenal, who were basically 8th or 9th in the Premier League at the time, who did Villarreal really play that was of note up until the final? Whereas United, it's Sociedad, who are above these guys, Granada, AC Milan, Roma, and now Villarreal. It's you just. Oh, sorry. It's clear. Slipped. It's clear that United have had the harder run and therefore should be better equipped to beat this Villarreal side, in my opinion.
No. For me, like, that's why it's always a dangerous position to be in when you are so overwhelmingly the better team. Because again, like I said, for United, they've had a harder run. They're the team who've come down for the Champions League. They should have really come through that group stage based on them actually beating PSG and so forth. So there is such a strong argument for Man United to say what's up with that. If somehow, some way, these guys actually conspired to lose to Villarreal, hence why I say that it'll be bad. Like it could almost negate all the good work they've done this season because of the fact of who have Villarreal played. They're seventh. United are second. United beats PSG. They're the team that came down from the Champions League. Look at the kind of players that United have. Look at the amount of guys like Pogba, Bruno, Cavani. These are guys who are like starters for the international teams. And so for like this guy Moreno, he's only just come onto the map, you know.
Yeah.
So like this is really his first where he's actually announced himself. So there is so much that goes for United that is not always the most envious position to be such overwhelming favorites, because you can then come into complacency. Because I have to read myself that Red Devil, it would be really bad if you guys lose to Villarreal.
Also, I don't know, maybe this is a thing, but like I remember reading that, like, you know, we're still waiting on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to actually get handed a new contract. And that's another thing we're thinking about, where, like, you know, the standard sort of, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is on the line, these players tend to ball. And I just think it's interesting that the United board have not, because he's going into his final year. This is his final year. It's just interesting how they've not actually announced a new contract for him yet. Because usually managers, owners, they'll announce if they've got a year.
Wait. I thought they announced his new
contract. No. There were the reports about it, but he's not been off the new. That there was the suggestion that they were going to do it. They've not officially said we're giving him a new contract for the next 2, 3, 4 years or something like that. As far as I'm aware, that's not happened. And so there is an argument that potentially it's a success in this is getting a new contract based on obviously winning the Europa League. Obviously, he's met the top 4 requirement. He's done that. And if that's enough, then maybe he will get it. But there is an argument he had. The only thing I would say is that, to be frank, right now, I don't know there's any real managers available that I would say, right, you replace him and this manager is now going to take United from second to first. I don't know which managers are available right now.
You don't think Allegri would do that?
No, I don't think Allegri would do that. To take United from second, top four, maybe go in Champions League, but to go from second to first, I don't think Allegri would do that. No. He probably end up going back to Juve anyway.
Let's take some of this dub. So from Coastly Awesome, and thank you for the dub. He says HH inducts baby Chester divided when they lose the final. Red Devil, I'm gonna have to be real with you, bro. If you guys lose the final, I'm inducting the badge. and I think that's I'd have to force you to make a speech for the induction.
Can we make a deal? Okay, if United lose, so United lose, fine, you can induct it. If Chelsea concede more than 4 goals to City in the Champions League final, you have to induct the Chelsea FC badge in a brick academy. More than 4.
If those losers get embarrassed, it will be my honor to induct the badge. If those guys lose, 100%, no, you're on. See, I thought you were going to no. Yeah, it's like I'd wear a suit. Basically, I'd put on like my white suit for it and so forth. 100% and induct the 5-0 in a CL final. It'd be my honor. it would be my honor to induct those losers. But yes, no. If United lose, I'm inducting the badge, bro. Because you have no business losing this at all, man. You have no business. LSK Laxon, who says, HH, we're going to do it in the memory of Zad. First off, Zad has already staked his claim in this European trophy final, man, by putting forth one of the greatest ever single performances in the European final, second only to Ronaldo's performance for Inter Milan against Lazio. The second greatest performance in a European final of this European final was Zad against Arsenal, which was there's never been a case where a one man did destroy the team by himself like Zad did. So, Wesley Jackson, keep your filthy, stinking memory to yourself. You just get the win. Because if not, both you and Red Devil will be invited to the brick induction ceremony. And from Ellis Jackson again, good evening ain't doing shit. Hashtag papaya merchants. Red Devil. So, okay, but before we go to the lineup, is this confidence permeating through the United fan fraternity of, oh, we're going to beat those guys? So is there an overwhelming confidence that,
yeah, I mean, I think there's a certain segment of fan base that is still like, nah, we can brick it up, and we can brick it up because we bricked it up in the league with different sort of teams. But I think the confidence is just based on the run to the final. We played pretty much all the best teams, with the exception of some of the English teams in the round. I'd have been more concerned if this was Arsenal, because I know with Arsenal, with the nature of the rivalry what they had, and obviously how we've been in the league, I think they would have been very much like, right, okay, we're up for it. I think with Villarreal, I just think that, and I remember when Ollie played unai Emery against Arsenal fewer games, like Ollie spanked the guy, like he took him to town basically. So just based on how he played, so I don't really see, if we're going to lose, we're not going to be. If we're going to lose, we're not going to be embarrassed. It will be maybe like a 1-0. Nick, or maybe a 2-1. It will be a cagey affair if we lose, but if we win, I think it will be fairly comfortable, because we just have the players, we have the depth of squad that can score goals. And United, since they dropped in the Europa League, I don't think there's been a single game where they've not scored. They've scored in pretty much every game. So how are you going to not keep this team out? You know what I mean?
Red Devil, it's now time for.
Oh, can you share my screen actually? Because I've got the pictures in it. Just give me 2 seconds.
So is this your lineup, or what do you think the lineup is?
This is what I think the lineup is going to be. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just.
No, because look, I mean, because the players that he chooses is going to be very, very key.
It should be there now.
And you know what? If Daniel James scores in the Europa League final, man, I mean, what kind of narrative is that?
He's not going to start, but this is what I think. The team. Oh, actually, I put Henderson in there. That's actually. I don't think Henderson will start. Actually, I think it'll be De Gea that will start. I'll just quickly change that. There is a debate on whether it's going to be. I think there's a debate because the rumor is that whoever starts in goal. Whoever doesn't start in goal, it's the end of their career. Manchester.
Wait. What site is this again? Because I remember the site. What's the name of the site?
It's what's it called again? Createformation.com.
Okay. No, because they actually give you the pictures and stuff.
The pictures, cool. Yeah. I've been starting to use it since then. Actually, they didn't update. They only started updating it recently. It was like 2 or 3 years out of date, but they've actually started updating it. So
okay. So okay. So let's say De Gea, sure. Is Maguire? So Maguire's going to be fit for the final?
Oh man, I think them again. I don't think he's going to be fit. Actually, I think it'll probably Bay and I'll just change that.
Oh, Bay
and this guy, Bay and Lindelof. Just because, even though I'm quite skeptical about that centre back pairing, I think
you don't think Maguire will make it.
Well, from what we hear in the press, he wasn't even training today. So it's kind of like. You can't. This guy. It's like the Harry Kane situation again. And if anything, Harry Kane trained up until the final, at least the first week. Harry Maguire didn't even train today. So basically, what you're saying is he might do some heavy training tomorrow and then throw him into a final. I don't know. I think that would be.
See, my thing. See, it's tricky. Like it's. Basically, it's a risk. So basically, okay. Before we look at the lineup, if on the day the fitness coach goes up to Ole and says, "Yo, he's fit," do you play him?
No, you don't play him. He's not match fit.
Match fit.
That's the key. He's not played for 3 weeks now. So you
But in the back of your mind that it's a better pairing when you have him in there, either with Lindelof or with Bayer. Whereas Lindelof and Bayer, these guys, they have made mistakes, and this pairing doesn't look as resolute.
I mean, if he's match fit though, but again, we use the Spurs example, and that was with Harry Kane. You know, Harry Kane's done his business. Spurs are better team. Harry Kane, he comes into the final, and
he did play for 2 months though. 2 months.
No, I agree, but even then, at least he spent like a week at least trying to sort of a bit more time to try to get match fit. Harry Maguire's not played for 3 weeks, and he's not trained today. And so we're basically hoping that the fact that he's not trained today, it's like it means he can't even run. So we're basically today, tomorrow, hoping that he might be able to run effectively, and then you're now then going from running to match.
No. It's risky. It's risky. Yeah. It's risky. I won't lie. It's risky. So okay, so we have De Gea, so Shaw, Lindelof, by Wan-Bissaka, Fred, McTominay, Fernandes, Rashford, Pogba, Cavani. So my thing about that is, I believe that because Villarreal, they are good on the ball, and they're quite clever on the ball. So I think that Fred and McTominay, they are good in helping to solidify the midfield. They're not like a Javi or a Cruz who can just basically. United don't have and this is the issue with this United team, that they're very effective, but they're not very stylish. You don't have a guy who can really hold on to the ball, pass the ball, thread balls through, playmaker and stuff. I mean, Paul. See, that's the issue there.
Matic if Matic was prime Matic, then this wouldn't even be a conversation, So because you could play in an ideal world, I would have dropped Fred and McTominay. I'd have had prime Matic, Van de Beek, Bruno, and then Pogba, possibly in a diamond or something like that, with Cavani and maybe Rashford up top of the two, maybe Cavani and Greenwood. That's actually, I think, what we played against Everton, and we completely bossed them in that League Cup. But obviously, that's not what we're going to do. McTominay and Fred are. It's just Ollie's safe option at the end of the day, and I think
look, Scott McTominay, look, they do their things. Scott McTominay, he does his. I think these guys are good, safe guys, and I think you have to
actually. Would you have McTominay over Jorginho at Chelsea?
Yes. I don't know why you're laughing. Yes, I would. Jorginho is trash. Yes, I would. Because the thing with Jorginho is that we were sold a lie. Because we're like, okay, he's not good defensively, but what he brings going forward is amazing because he's a register as a bruv. You don't offer anything. McTominay, I know what you offer, which is that you are solid in our midfield. You are good defensively. You can make it tackle. You have physical presence, and occasionally you can actually do some stuff in the opposite end. So McTominay is going to give me more than Jorginho. See, Jorginho may look better and aesthetically better on the ball than McTominay. But when you look at, what are you actually providing the team? McTominay provides more for a team than what Jorginho does. You just have to accept what McTominay isn't going to give you what Modric, Javi, or Thiago Alcantara gives you. No, because he's not that kind of player. So hence why, like, this United team is just a United team based on just trying to be effective. Playing on which is why I look at this team. Do you believe that this team can break down a team who now sitting deep? So let's just create a scenario. See, if United go 1-0 up, I think it's lights out. Because if Villarreal come out, it's lights out.
Yeah.
If Villarreal go 1-0 up, can this team respond?
Well, we've seen. I mean, the thing is, we've seen that in the league. This is the nature of this team. That's why there is an element of confidence, because how many times we've seen Manchester United this season go a goal down and come back. It's just so, whether it's in League and Europe, I'm not saying it's happened every single time. Even in that last game when RB Leipzig beat us, like, it was still it was close because we scored, I think, 2 goals or something like that. And RB Leipzig, whoa, what's going on? So there are always goals in this team. And so these days now, one of the positive things I think Ollie has brought is that if we concede first, I can go, okay, yeah, we conceded first, but we still got on a team to score 2, 3, 4, etc. No problem. I'm not that 2-0 down. Okay, maybe get a bit worried, but 1-0, we've got it. Whereas, as you rightfully said, I think if United score the first goal, for me, I think that's lights out of Villarreal. Not 100%, but when we get into the groove, I think that'd be it. So I'm compared to last season and even the season before, I'm not as worried as I was if we weren't going to go into the second half 1-0 down. And on top of that, you have a bench. Looking at the squad, for example, you can bring in Van der Beek, you can bring in a Greenwood, for example, with pace. You can bring in even a youngster like Ahmad, for example, scored a crucial goal against Milan. There are options on the bench to do Villarreal. I mean, I'm not the expert, and I'm just saying, but do Villarreal have really good bench options that they can come on to impact the game if they're down, that are of the quality that United have?
I mean, not to be honest, Alcacer is pretty good though. I think he's a guy that can come off the bench and really change his body. I think apart from Alcacer, there really isn't anyone there that can say something, really. So I think they're really depending on their first team. And I mean, Showcase didn't even make the squad in their game against Real Madrid. So, because now if he's out, I think that's a great dub for United, because that's something less to worry about. But then, because if he plays, he will be on Luke Shaw's side because he plays on the right. So, but I think whether he plays or not, I don't think it was that much of an issue. So let me just get some of these dubs. So from Jay Jokin, thank you for the dub. He says they won't show the UCL final as BT don't allow rape. So you're saying that Chelsea are going to get raped on Saturday? Look, as
Kepa's in goal, then yes. God forbid
Red Devil. If it's 3-0 at halftime, I'm turning off the whole thingy, and then the post match will be a Euro 2020 build up, or Copa America build up. But you see, the club season coverage will officially be over if it's 3-0 by halftime. From Abracadabra. There you go. HH. What is going on? Zad and now Willian wants to return. And HH, did you hear what Forlan said? Man United are not favorites. So to answer your first thing is, whenever you leave home, you must always come back. Now, Willian, I'm not too sure about that, because I think Willian is okay, bro. I think and do you know why Willian is sick? David Luiz is leaving. So because David Luiz is leaving, your best mate in there, you now want to come out to Chelsea? Nah. We're good. Zad, you should never have left home. This is your house. This was always your house. This was always your home. And he knows that, you know what? This is not my home. Chelsea's my home. Zad, the doors are open. Feel free to come out, because that attack is flipping garbage, man. So look, man.
Also, I think there's another. I don't know whether I can see it. Maybe it's on my side. The super chat from Chainsaw DW says, "I love your analysis. What impact will a W for 2021-2022 be?" I'm assuming that's directed to me.
Yeah.
So as far as I say, I don't support any club, but I really appreciate how you break that football analysis, bro. Appreciate that, bro. I think it will be a huge. I think it'll be a significant for the team, and just in terms of morale, to the confidence, in terms of, much like when Liverpool, I think, won obviously the Champions League, but missed out on the Premier League. I think was at a point behind City, and they were thinking, listen, we just want to have something to show for our efforts. We want something to be like, listen, all the work paid off. And so I think from a team morale point of view, I think for confidence going to next season, because bear in mind, I think people need to remember this. We're literally we've had so many games. We literally went from August and September, no preseason. Then players are going to go into the Euros. Players are going to go into the Copa America, and then boom, maybe 2 weeks, and then we're into next season. So there's actually not going to be a lot of time for pre-season, talking tactics, all the rest of it. So it is going to be a lot of momentum building going into next season. And if you're going into next season depressed, down, not really having any direction, that's going to be a problem. And I think that this win will be important for that. That said, it will be insignificant if the board don't back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we have been here before where we've had a good season and the board didn't back him, and obviously other teams strengthened and it caused problems. So I think it'll be good, but it'll only be really good if we actually invest in the squad and push forward. Is my 2 cents.
So look, as we're just winding down, because we'll always I'll get to your final score prediction soon, man. But here's the thing, though, is, as I said again, this is a big game for Ole and for Man United. It's a huge game. It's a massive game, because you see, here's the thing. This would be humongous for Villarreal, who I think have never won a major European trophy. This is the first major European final that they've been. So already in a way, it's already a success for Villarreal in the fact that somehow Emery has gotten them to their first major European final. So it would mean more for Villarreal than it would for United. But for this isn't a United thing. This is an Ole thing. This is a Solskjaer thing. Because let's keep it real. Nobody wants to respect Solskjaer. They still call him the Norwegian PE teacher. I call him Gollum and so forth. And people are like, nah, man, you're only here for vibes. You're only here because of a goal that you allegedly scored. I think that was actually it was actually offside. I think that was offside. An offside goal you scored in 90. An offside goal you scored in 1999.
I won a treble that no England team has won. And for any City fans watching, know if City win the Champions League, that is not a treble. Okay, the Carabao Cup. A domestic treble only became a thing when City won it.
I don't want to. No, that's sad. That's sad.
It's not a treble. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Bayern won a treble. Okay, Barcelona won a treble. United won a treble. That's a true treble. Okay, the Carabao Cup is not a treble. Anyway.
Okay, look. Let me be real with you. Okay, let me put down Double H the analyst, and let me bring up Double H the narrative merchants and the guy. So for 55 minutes, you've had Double H the analyst, and I put down not just Double H the guy. There is a part of me that wants United to lose.
Of course,
because I think no. But I'll tell you, because there are two parts. See, one part of me wants United to lose because I think it would be funny, it would be hilarious. United fans would have no comeback because because of the narrative merchants, I'd have so much ammunition to say, you drop down from the Champions League, you're the far superior team, you have far superior players. This is Villarreal's first ever major European final, and you lost to them. Then, if we're not talking narratives, for Emery, that would be massive. It'd be like, no, maybe they should rename this trophy after you. Because you literally have some special juju and white magic over this trophy. If you actually manage to take Villarreal to the final and actually beat a United team that were far superior to you, it'd be like, no, it would be one of the biggest jobs. So it'd be huge for him. So from the narrative point of view, it would be such a massive L for all the United fans. I'll say, no, you guys are trash. But another part of me is, in a small way, I would actually be happy for Ole, in a sense of he's taken so much abuse. He's been so belittled. And guys continue to question, who is this guy? He's beaten Pep several times. He had a win over PSG and so forth. And people still say, nah, this guy is here for vibes and so forth. So if he was able to win this trophy, he'd be like, you know what? Here, because
he's got a lot more. So go on. I was just going to say, go on, man.
Okay, so no, people's ammunition is, oh wow, you steadied the ship. So what? You've not won anything. Like, okay, cool. You've done better than Mourinho and so forth, but you've not won anything. Because when we're dealing at this level of football, you are judged by your medals and your trophies. Whatever those trophies are, like, first win a trophy, then we say, but I'm sorry, Carabao Cup may be a piece of trash, a Carabao Cup is still better than winning nothing. You know, like a trophy is still better than you not winning anything. So him winning this is something. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it's obviously context. I mean, what I would also say with Ollie, is that, and this is the thing. Like, I think just need to be fair, because I don't remember Lampard or even Arteta, getting as much hate.
Red Devil, please don't mention that guy's name.
Well, I just don't remember them getting the same amount of level of almost hatred and stick, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has gotten. No one is saying you don't criticize, but at least the criticism should be proportional. Even Arteta, who's there now, I'm like, this dude finished essentially 8th, 9th in the league again, no trophies, they've regressed, and it's like, yeah, it is what it is.
I have a great response. You're right, and let me explain both. The Arteta explanation is Pep. Because he works with Pep, people sort of afford him things because it's like, okay, I know he's messing up, but no, there must be something here because he works with such a brilliant mind. So people are like, he has a whole proximity to Pep, which Ole doesn't have. So people just assume that, no, Arteta must be a man because something must have rubbed off of Pep. So maybe we just need to wait a little bit and so forth. No, I'm just giving you I'm just giving you people's rationale.
Yeah,
so
I know what you mean. Yeah.
The Lampard thing is, we live in England. Oh, I saw a picture of Lampard sharing a pint with one of those printers. I can't tell them apart. So one of Will, Kate, it was one of those freaking dudes. Basically, the guy that has like a bald patch. Basically, he was sharing a pint with them. So Lampard is in with the royal family. Lampard is liked by the media, and Lampard is the kind of, so they will always afford him thing, even if the guy was a piece of crap manager and he was worse than Ole. Let's keep it real. Like, Ole is a better manager than Lampard. That guy's from the road. Hence why, bro, go back to school and do your freaking badges because you're trash. So the only thing is, you're not English. That's the first thing. That's not counts against you. You don't have the Pep Guardiola seal of approval. So
even though this guy's been Pep multiple times,
you're a United legend, not a football legend. See, for United fans, you are special based off that goal that you scored in Barcelona. But for guys who are non-Man United fans, you're like, hey, who is okay? Well, okay, yeah, you're a United legend, but you're not a football legend. You're not a household name. You're not a great manager, and so forth. So you're not English. So he doesn't have any cachet.
I mean, I get that, but I mean, I think that you obviously we play football, teams to win trophies. That's because of the players. But you, at the same time, you also have to. There has to be clear progression. There has to be clear direction. There has to be clear, because otherwise you're just going to be going around in circles. And this is the thing. And this, we look at Arsenal, and I'll maybe talk about Chelsea in a second. Is that okay? Yeah, Arsenal fans. Oh yeah, we won the FA Cup. Won the FA. Cool. Okay, won the FA Cup. Great. But what was the direction? What was the clear, like, where's the sort of, because you're then going to go back and then in circles. And then if you look at Arsenal and say, okay, where's been the clear progression? That's 15 years of your club. It's not there. So sometimes, and that's why when Ole was scored, oh, someone's trophies can mask progress. The truth of that is, yes, that is the case, because even if Chelsea, Di Matteo, Champions League, when he won that, yeah, awesome, amazing. Chelsea winning Champions League is great. But then he got sacked the following season, and you had to replace it. So now, obviously, there were good and great managers to come in to take Chelsea forward, but not other teams are like that. I still even say the same thing about Thomas Tuchel this season. I think, yeah, if he wins the Champions League with Chelsea, great, good win. But do I think that if Chelsea, where they are, that next season that they're going to somehow compete for the Champions League again, that they're going to compete for the Premier League? I'm not entirely sure with that team that I see right now. So, yes, trophy is important. United, I still think they're very expensive. They need to win it. But you also have to objectively see. That's why the league is a good indicator, because your league position is the de facto, in my opinion, of progress, of where a team goes. That's your league position. If you won a trophy but somehow finish 15th, you can't tell me that you progressed, because the next season, you're not going to win that trophy. You know what I mean? You want to be in a situation with United want to be in a situation with Sir Alex Ferguson, Fergie, where you're winning trophies on the regular. You might not win the Premier League, but every season you're picking up, like City are, you're winning a trophy, 1, 2 trophies, etc. It's a small club mentality where you're just like, right, I'm happy to win 1 trophy this season and not a trophy another season because I won it in the last 1 or 3 years or something. You want to see clear progression so that you're maintaining that level of competitiveness, which is what Sir Alex Ferguson obviously did at Manchester United. So if he wins the Europa League, you're like, right, next season he has to compete for the league. He has to go far in the Champions League and he has to win another trophy, and we need to get that trophy winning mentality back. Does that make sense?
No, I mean, not you, because you raised an interesting point. Because if we look at Arsenal, so you won the FA Cup, but you finished 8th. So it's like, yes, you won a trophy, but then it's like,
but there was
how
no
valuable
progress.
is that FA Cup? Yeah, because see, my thing is, because you use an interesting one, which is progress, and it has to be a case of like, this is 3rd, 2nd, and we have an aim to gain towards to 1st place. Yeah. So we are just forming building blocks. It's difficult because this is Man City, and you're dealing with one of the best managers of all time and one of the most expensive teams of all time that has a bottomless pit of cash. So that is a monster of a institution to dethrone. But progress is progress, and you finished behind an extremely good team who, after that trash I saw against Aston Villa, may go ahead and actually beat those clowns on Saturday in the Champions League. So my thing is that it's like, I think the beauty of trophies is a winning mentality. I think of like, you want to just try and win, but it's almost like it's like the Emery complex. I think the Emery complex is, we're winning these trophies, but we're not actually moving forward as a club or as a team. So, because again, for Arsenal is, look, Arsenal, I think they've won a whole bunch of FA Cups, and you're the FA Cup holders, but finished 8th. I said again, look, man, FA Cup in 2021 is no longer sexy. I'm sorry. It may be sexy for like Queen Elizabeth II and so forth, but that's not how I roll.
You could say for Leicester City, for example, I know they bottled it. Someone bottled it coming in, but at least compared to last season, they came 5th. This season, they came 5th. They won an FA Cup. So you're thinking, right, okay, we're disappointed we dropped out, but even compared to last season, it wasn't by that much compared to the previous season. So we've made progress. We've got something. So you know what? Get 1 or 2 signings, more that they brought in, a few others, build on to what we had, and then maybe next season we'll be able to again compete. We might go further in the Europa League, etc. So you can see the trajectory there, which is why Leicester City, in my opinion, have replaced Arsenal. So they both won FA Cups, but you can clearly see that Leicester City are showing the progression where they're going to be. But Arsenal, yeah, okay, they won an FA Cup. Yeah, they've got good players, but are they where Leicester City are in terms of progression? No, they're not. So that's where you've got to use trophies in the context of where ultimately the club, the manager, the hierarchy won.
Oh no. Yeah, no. See, so for Arsenal, it's bad because Arsenal like where you go. See, if United win this Europa League, this is clear progression. So when United won the Europa League with Mourinho, was that the season they finished 2nd?
No, So that's why I think this is even better, because that was the first season. That was Mourinho's first season. So Mourinho's first season, he won the Europa League and the League Cup, but we finished 6th. And so he had to, because it's like, I want to go for the Europa League to get us into the Champions League. So I'm going to field a weaker team in the league and just go out in the Europa League, which worked. Then the following season, he got a few signings and he came 2nd. We didn't get any trophies. And then the 3rd season, enough said. At least with this season, obviously Ollie's got 2nd place. Not that far behind City compared to say how far Mourinho was behind City, and then you get a trophy. So in my mind, that equals that successful Mourinho season, because we have a better league position, and on top of that, obviously you've got your trophy as well. The judge will be obviously next season, because obviously finishing the top 4 last season, top four again, improvement. Can he go ahead in this season and take Manchester United further with key signings?
Let me just take, and then I'm going to get a scoreline from you now. So, Waske Jackson, I'm not sure what this means. So, Waske Jackson says, Red Bro, what is your favorite fruit smoothie?
What is my favorite fruit smoothie? Grape and banana. I know that sounds good, but grape and banana, yeah, is my
wait,
my favorite.
Does that go?
Yeah, you put some nice, maybe that grape and banana, just put it in a blender, whip it up, maybe put some milk, so oat milk or whatever milk that you have. Maybe put some flavored yogurt in it, mix it around. Yeah, grape and banana works.
Damn, okay. Fruit. I've not had a fruit smoothie in ages, man. So
unless this you're saying, I know fruit sellers is a term that's used for. So I don't know if he's.
That's why I want United to lose. Because Waske Jackson, he has been so rude and so disrespectful. He's called Villarreal fruit sellers. He's called them peasants. He's called them losers. He's called them.
Oh man.
So I think that the arrogance from him is so bad because he's been trying to use reverse psychology because he always says Topo Timo is amazing, Topo Timo, and he's using the reverse psychology to mess Chelsea up. But the reverse psychology actually worked against him. So my thing is that based on his evil white magic witchcraft, I want United to get beat just because of LSK Laxon. So
what will you do if Turbo Timo scores in a Champions League final? If he scores the winning goal in a Champions League final, does he now go ahead of Eden Hazard?
No comments. No comments. from Waske Jackson. Basically, he better not, man. So from Waske Jackson, who says Ole is about to whip up a mango and papaya fruit salad. Waske Jackson, I pray to the footballing gods that you lose. I pray to the footballing gods that you lose, man. Andrew Laurie says Ole has experience though as a manager. Look, he does.
Yeah,
he does have experience, whether it's good or no.
Look, he was winning. He won times with Mulder, and like Mulder got to the quarterfinal of the Europa League. I think they got knocked. Was it Ajax that knocked them out? I think it was Ajax that knocked them out or something. So they're not a nobody. So he has won trophies. It's not a top 5 or 6 league in Europe. So but anyway, go on.
So guys, we'll take about 5 minutes of questions from Red Devil Studio channel and my channel. So for watching Red Devil Studio channel, send in your questions in the live chat, and then we'll take some of your live questions in. So, scoreline. Do you have a scoreline, Red Devil Studio? I have a scoreline.
Yeah. What's your scoreline? What's your scoreline?
I believe it's going to be 1-1, 90 minutes.
Okay.
Like United will pepper them, chance, but the ball won't go in. Because I think Villarreal score first. I think United equalize. Then United win 2-1 in extra time. So I'm going with 2. So I was going to say 2-1, 90 minutes, but I'm thinking it's a final and so forth. Villarreal really wants this. They'll defend desperately. They may get some luck on their side. So I think they could hold for 90 minutes, but I think they can hold for 1-2. It's going to say they win 2-1. And I'm going to say I think Moreno will score. And I believe I can see Cavani scoring the winning goal. And I'm saying Bruno gets a penalty. I think Bruno scores a penalty and Cavani scores the winning goal in extra time.
I mean, I'm going to go 3-1 to Manchester United. I genuinely think that Manchester United will just have too much for Villarreal. I do. I mean, and if anything, I would even. The only reason why I'm not as confident a little bit is just because of the fact that I just think that Ollie's selection. I don't really want Marcus Rashford to play on the right. I'd rather Greenwood play on the right, but it means he's going to have to drop Rashford. So he's going to play Rashford, which I think is not ideal. And obviously the midfield. And then, it's Maguire. What's going on with that? So those are the variables that I'm not going to see until I actually see the lineup. But even still, I still think that United will just have too much. I think that when you look at the players we have that can score goals, Bruno can obviously score, Pogba can contribute, Greenwood can, Rashford can, Cavani can. There's just, even McTominay to a certain extent, there's just too much in that team, and I just don't know how Villarreal are going to keep Manchester United out. Aside from maybe scoring from a sort of a set piece, maybe pressing Fred. I mean, again, it will come to, is Emery going to come and press the McTominay and Fred? I don't think he will. In which case, he's going to probably let us have the ball a bit. In which case, I think if he lets us have the ball, I think we'll be fine. And I think, I see United scoring. So 3-1.
Yeah, well, guys, that's so basically. So we'll be. So I'm not. So are you going to be doing? Because basically, I'm going to bring up a whole bunch of United fans and any Villarreal fans an hour before kickoff to do the lineup preview. So if you are free, you're welcome to join in for the lineup preview. So us, because I know YSK Jackson was asking, like, so United fans, I'll send you guys the link, and so obviously, so it's 8 p.m, isn't it? It's BST.
8 p.m. Yeah.
So 7 BST will come online, and we'll just maybe 10 to 7 or so forth. They discuss things, last rights and so forth, and then maybe use some white magic to mess up United and so forth, and then we'll see what could happen. So, guys, that's it, guys. Remember to subscribe.
Were there any questions? I think you said we want to take a few questions in the thing.
Okay, so guys, 5 minutes live chat. Send in any questions you have for me and Red Devil Studios. Send some questions in live chats. We're here. Send some questions in. Latin Rosario says, I don't know any Villarreans for. Oh God! Look, Latin, just give me my cut of your winnings, man. Okay, that's what I want, man. Just give me the cut of your winnings, man. So I mean, look, Villarreal could see, even if Villarreal gets baptized, they shouldn't feel embarrassed because this is already a victory for them. The fact that they even got there. So I've
got one from my friend Georgia who says, I mean, maybe you was how are Villarreal on set pieces?
I'm not really too sure that they're actually particularly good on set pieces.
Looking at the
they have what's it called? Is it Arbeloa? He's a threat at set pieces. He's a threat at set pieces, but I don't think they are particularly good. I don't think they're a known side that are particularly known as being good at set pieces. But Arbeloa is pretty good in the air, And I think that's without Maguire there. There could be a mistake in the whole by Lindelof thing, man. So, will Bruno score a penalty in the 90th minute? Will they need a 90th minutes penalty is the real question. Or will they already...
I wouldn't be surprised if we got a penalty early on, to be honest. I just think that... And see, this is the danger when you put...
Sorry, mistake. It's Raul Albiol. Yeah.
I think that for me is going to be the problem if you're going to be compact. The danger of playing 10 men, if you're going to be so compact, is that, and you allow United to play, is that with the way United play, with the passive ball, now you've got, especially with Pogba on the left, as Martial would often be, Pogba dribbling in from left coming in, he's won a lot of penalties like Martial had on that side. Rashford, likewise, also on penalties from running in. Bruno, Banavik, etc. So you've got players there that can win penalties. So I wouldn't be surprised if we won a penalty for the first 90 minutes. Also, Villarreal did show a bit of their indiscipline when they played Arsenal in the semi-final of the first league. I think they got a guy got straight.
Something like
that. Yeah.
Okay, look, man. Let's run this. So look, man. Red Devil, man. Good luck to you boys. Good luck to you boys. I would like you guys to lose based on the abuse that you've given me and how you tried to jinx Chelsea.
I've not given you abuse. I've been very encouraging, actually. Very encouraging. I've said you favourites. I still think you're favourites.
Lies. And I know why you're saying our favorites and so forth, man. So, guys, we will. So remember, guys, we'll be here at 7 p.m. for a lineup preview. So it'll be me, a whole bunch of United fans. I will send you guys the link via Twitter DM. And from 8 p.m. from kickoff, join me for the live watch along on my Twitch. So on my Twitch, I'll be there for the live watch along. So obviously, as Regular said, to see what do you say? Is it circumcision, John? Baptism? What he said 5-0, 5-1, 6-1?
4-0. We'll keep it
4-0.
If it's 4-0, then you need to induct Chelsea.
So basically, we'll be here with the Milan. We'll be looking to see United completely baptize and embarrass Villarreal, and we hope that does come true, because if it doesn't, it's going to be a pretty funny and unfortunate post-match stream, guys. So, guys, man, remember, guys, like, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Red Devil Studios channel as well. And we are here, guys. Peace.
Peace.
The kid.